puts up a long range three and nails it. Kayla G for three.
Back to Nicholson, off the glass.
Three ball, unbelievable. Been an impressive performance.
A shot, she gives it off, almost a half court from Melbourne. It's gone. And the look on her face says it all.
Round 15 of the Cygnett WNBL continues in the West, and it is no ordinary day in WA, for arguably the most important game of the entire season awaits us. The equation is simple for the Spirit. Win and they're in, as victory would see them take the split over the Lynx and seal a top 4 spot. It means that this is simply a must-win clash for Perth, as a loss would see its finals hopes dashed despite a remarkable surge in the back half of the season. This is the definition of a cutthroat final before the finals, and you won't miss a basket block or Sammy Whitcomb bomb from the car park on 9 now. Hello and welcome to Bendat Basketball Centre. Ben Waterworth with you, alongside one of the sharpest minds in Aussie hoops and long-time WNBL assistant coach Mark Alabakoff. Mark, welcome along. This game couldn't be any more better placed. The stakes are absolutely enormous.
Well, like the title of a Friends episode, it's the one for all the marbles.
Yes.
It's the battle of the dominant interior play of the Bendigo Spirit and the dominant perimeter play of the Perth Lynx. It's offensive rebounds versus a three-point line. One of those dams is going to break tonight, and that team's going to win.
Let's have a look at the ladder, and this puts some context around why this game is so important tonight between these two sides. So only 4 spots for the finals. Bendigo and Perth are fighting for that 4th spot because Townsville, Southside and Melbourne are in the finals. How it works in the WNBL is if the two teams finish in the same number of wins at the end of the season, it is determined who finishes higher by who took the split of the 3-game series earlier in the season. Bendigo and Perth, after 2 games, are 1-1. So it is a genuine cutthroat final between these two sides tonight, and we're really looking forward to bringing you it on 9 now. As we have a look, particularly right now, at the Perth Lynx, the home team that have come with a rush in the back end of this WNBL season. Mark Alabakoff, they won 7 straight, but they have lost 3 of their past 4 games. But it is a predictable starting 5 out there tonight.
It really is, and they play with great pace and space. They live and die by the three-point shot, but they've all embraced that. They've got 7 shooters that shoot 34% from the three-point line or more, so the threats are plenty and abound. Let's
have a look at 3 of those top-ranked shooters as well, in Amy Atwell, Sammy Whitcomb and Chloe Bibby, who, wasn't too long ago where she hit 5 threes in a quarter and 7 in a game. These are 3 dynamic shooters from beyond the arc.
They really are. So the Perth Lynx, they average 33-point attempts every single game. These 3 athletes in particular are 3 of the top 12 in the entire league for three-pointers made. You've got Amy Atwell, who's a deadly shooter, makes 2.5 threes a game. You've got the refuse to lose, Sammy Whitcomb, makes 2.5. Chloe Bibby, has had a fantastic season, both inside and outside, makes 2. So out of that, roughly 10 that they make out of the 30 that they attempt, you've got athletes here that are, making up a huge slice of that pie.
Let's have a look now at the Bendigo Spirit. The visiting Bendigo Spirit, who have lost 4 games on the trot. A bit of a different look, though, Mark, with their starting 5 tonight.
It is, but I arguably think that this is their best lineup. It's the lineup that they can put out where the pieces fit the best. You've got the post presence of McKay. You've got the physicality that she brings. You've got the returning Kelsey Griffin, who can play inside and out. Abby Werung is having a stellar season, 3-and-D. Maylee's the best possession player that we've seen in the past 20 years of WNBL. And then Kelly Wilson is arguably the best point guard that we've seen in the past decade or more, one of the best that the country's ever produced. So being able to roll that lineup together, you've got a lot of experience, but then a lot of tools in the toolkit to get the job done.
So Meg McKay gets to start tonight ahead of Alicia Froling, who's kind of been the 5 and the starting 5 right throughout this season. But in the absence of Kelsey Griffin, these 3 players in particular have been asked a lot of, and Annalie Maylee continues to have another terrific season. But a big night for Meg McKay, who had a really good game against the Perth Lynx earlier in the season. She had 20 points, but also Alicia Froling now off the bench.
Yeah, and these 3 athletes, including Kelsey Griffin as the 4th, they're what I affectionately call the 4-headed monster of possession play that they have. Bendigo's the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They've got a rebounding rate offensively of 32%, so 3 and a bit out of every 10 shots they take, they recover as an offensive rebound. And you've got these 3 athletes, and then including Kelsey Griffin, who make up a big part of that. McKay, 1.5 O boards a game, Maley 3, Froling and KG 2.5 each.
Pretty handy inclusion tonight. Kelsey Griffin, her first game back since January 14. She had a ruptured hamstring tendon that she's been working really diligently on getting back to as close to 100% as possible. What a handy time to have her back in the Spirit lineup ahead of arguably their most important game of the season so far, and that can be said as well for the Perth Lynx. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the planet on 9 now. Lynx with first possession here, and Lauren Scherf trying to continue her awesome season. Ryan tries to hit the 3 and no good, and McKay brings down the first rebound of the game. These two teams, as I mentioned, already met twice this season. 1-1 is the split. Werung goes to work. Here is Griffin trying to bring McKay into the game. It is deemed off Bendigo hands and a Perth baseline ball.
An early look defensively from the Perth Lynx. Looks like they're in a 2-3 zone, so a different tactical look from Coach Ryan Petrick to try and disrupt some early rhythm from the Spirit.
Just gathered here by Ryan. Atwell on the corner. Misfires. We know the Perth Lynx will go to that 3-point shot when feasible as much as possible.
And happy to take it early in the shot clock too.
Here's Maley. Backing down and trying to put up the one-hand attempt, and both teams with a couple of missed field goals to start this one. Great atmosphere in the West for this one as Ryan works her way into the key. Now Scherf trying to set up some offense, and a lovely pass at that as Bibby gets us underway.
Such an underrated skill set that Lauren Scherf has. She can play on the perimeter, pass the basketball, and shoot from the perimeter as well.
So Ali Wilson not getting the start as well tonight. This is Abby Werung who's got her spot. And Werung makes the most of her opportunity with a mid-range 2.
She's so quick to get on balance too, Abby Werung. She's fast off her first step, but then does a terrific job of being able to get her feet under her to pull up.
Scherf v McKay. What a big night for Meg McKay, taking on one of the most informed players in the comp. Whitcomb, all class.
Just has a knack of finding space as well. She's always really well weighted with the dribble.
McKay, Werung, the 2 inclusions into the starting 5 tonight combining. Back for Griffin. Quintessential KG, and then quintessential Maley getting the offensive rebound, but couldn't get the second chance to go. Atwell, boom!
So this one's going to come down to what you saw in those last 2 possessions. It's the battle of the O boards. I think the Bendigo Spirit need to get 15 or more to gain some ascendancy versus the 3-point line. 3-pointers made by the Perth Lynx.
She's back. KG 23 drives to the rack and lays it in. Speaking of driving to the rack, Robbie Ryan explosive. Count the points and she'll head to the line for an extra.
She's come into her own. She's gotten better every single week in this Cygnett WNBL season. Her ability to get to the basket, and she's strong enough to hold defenders off. So she'll drive, she'll get her shoulder into your chest and hold contact and ride you all the way to the hoop and finish with the extended hand.
72% free throw shooter this season. Robbie Ryan, the import for the Perth Lynx, played all the 18 games so far. She's really hit form at the right time of the year for the Lynx, and a big reason behind their surge in the back half of this WNBL season. Early 6-point advantage for the home side. Wilson gets the screen. That's of McKay. Griffin now inside for McKay. Scherf trying to tap it away and gives away the first foul of the night.
This is the benefit of having Meg McKay on your roster. So she does a fantastic job of being able to go and seal. So you see both of her arms are outstretched. Her feet are wider than Lauren Scherf's. So it gives the passer a big window to throw the ball inside to her.
Werung. The screen here from McKay. And Werung works her way towards the key. Falling short in the attempt. Good defense from the Lynx. Ryan has brought so much energy in the point guard position throughout this season. Atwell fires, but is off target.
Doing a good job of creating early looks and clean looks at the three-point shot, the Perth Lynx.
Maley, that was a tough finish, but got the love off the glass she was after. Reigning MVP. Big night for her coming up. Whitcomb, already got one layup. Kicked it out for Scherf from way downtown.
It's a couple of these rattling around and falling out at the moment for the Lynx, but they've had far too many clean looks.
McKay, thanks to a great pass, is able to lay that in. Spirit back within a couple.
The challenge of playing the Lynx, you've got to locate everybody because everyone's got the capacity to shoot the three-point shot. So the moment the ball changes possession, you've got to find everyone and be able to guard them from inside the half court.
Not sure who Whitcomb was trying to find there. McKay read it best offhand. Griffin for Werrung. Offensive foul is called against McKay, so the Lynx will get the ball back. Coach Kennedy, Kerry Arlen tonight, trusting McKay with the start. Looks like Froling will be checking in. There's a look at the offensive foul called by the referee, who had the best view in the house of that one-on-one contest. McKay will take a seat. Robbie Ryan also taking a seat for the Lynx. Whitcomb explodes into the key and will head to the line and shoot a couple.
Get an early feel that, I mean, there's two athletes on the court that have this refuse to lose gene. One of them is Sammy Whitcomb, and you can see in her eyes that she's got some fire in the, in her heart tonight to try and get the win. The other one is Kelsey Griffin. I mean, she's not only a refuse to lose athlete that can be a match winner in her own right, but she's a force multiplier just to be on the floor with her teammates. Everyone seems to play better with her out there.
Rare blemish from the charity stripe for Sammy Whitcomb, who's had mixed fortunes against Bendigo so far this season. 4 points in game 1, 0 of 6 from three-point territory. 25 points in game 2, 4 of 6 from three-point territory. As the Spirit lose control in Perth. A sideline ball here in their backcourt. Just under 5.5 left in this opening quarter. Teams feeling each other out, getting decent looks. Not quite their best from a clip perspective. Atwell knocked away from her with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Bibby, we saw how quickly she can turn a game a couple of weeks ago when she hit those 5 triples in the one quarter against the Adelaide Lightning, finishing with 7 for the game. Monster performance. Alex Sharp on the floor as well for the Lynx as Whitcomb goes to work. Goes herself, and Froling is able to bring down the rebound. Lavey on the floor as well for the Spirit. Kicks it out for Kelly Wilson. Back for Lavey, who drew in Scherf. And the look from way downtown from Ali Wilson. He's off target. Bendigo were pointing to the right. Referee points to the left. Whitcomb guarded by Lavey, Opal's teammates for a couple of years. Sharp, lovely pass for Scherf. Good block there from Froling. Nice little confidence booster for Alicia.
Absolutely. She's got such length and she does a great job of getting her hand in the road of stuff. So she'll play tall, but then she's also got the wherewithal to be able to put a hand on the basketball as you go to shoot it.
Sister Keeley had a monster night for the Flames last night. String 30 once again. Bibby, Scherf, 6 to shoot here for the Lynx. So Whitcomb Euro steps her way through. A pretty move from the skipper.
Much more balance from the Perth Lynx, so balancing that three-point shot with being able to get to the rim. So you've got to pick your poison if you're the Bendigo Spirit.
A couple more substitutions. Sammy Whitcomb setting the tone early for her side. Mentioned Whitcomb before and Griffin, 2 warriors of the WNBL going at it tonight in a high-stakes encounter. Where else would you rather be than have your eyes on this game? Kelly Wilson for Lavey, for Froling, backing down here with 4 to shoot. Wants to her left side and gets her left side and gets the field goal.
And that's a go-to move of hers. She'll bait you with the first 2 dribbles going towards her right, but she always wants to come back to that left. She'll step across and trap your foot and keep you behind on that spin move. Loves
the fadeaway, Collie Bibby, and when you can execute like that, why not make the most of the opportunity? Tight arm wrestle early here at the Bendat Basketball Centre. Froling goes to work and draws a second foul on Lauren Scherf with 3.5 left in the first quarter.
It's a case in point here. So 2 dribbles on the right hand and then steps and tries to step beyond the foot of Lauren Scherf so that she can then keep Scherf on her back and she can use her left hand to be outstretched and away from the shot blocker to get her shot off. Great move by Alicia Froling.
So Alicia Froling steps up to the charity stripe for the Bendigo Spirit. 1 double-double so far this season, and 13 times she's scored at least 10 points. As Annalie Maley will check back in. Kelly Wilson will take a seat for the Spirit. Just a different feel, a different vibe about the Spirit with when you add a player as influential as Kelsey Griffin back into the lineup, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And the phrase that keeps coming to mind is force multiplier, right? I think just having athletes of that caliber and the intensity that she brings to the game and the way that she does so in a humble and encouraging way, it really lifts the boat of the Bendigo Spirit and forces, or encourages, I should say, everybody else to play brimming with confidence.
So referee just having a chat with Coach Kerryama here. All good to go now, thumbs up. Jessie Edwards on the floor for Perth. Congratulations to Jessie, playing game number 50 tonight in the WNBL. Also Meg McKay playing game 50 in the WNBL too. Ryan kicks it out for Bibby. Sharp into the game. Falling short with that floater attempt. Tessa Levy really starting to find some rhythm in her game in the past month or so. Here's Maley. And with the right hand, tough attempt, drops.
That's a great move of hers that she uses. She'll drive left as a preference, but shoots right-handed, so that arm is arguably closer to the rim, so she reaches out, shot blockers can't get to it.
Bibby pulls the trigger. Can't hit the triple. Griffin brings down the board. And Levy kicks up the tempo and can't float it in, and Maley can't bring down the offensive rebound, although Bendigo will have a fresh 14 to work with still. Here is Chloe Bibby. Big last couple of games for Chloe Bibby. Pretty impressive in the loss to Southside last week. Griffin for Maley. For Griffin. Guarded here by Sharp, and KG goes to work. No good on the fadeaway. Another O-board for Maley. Second chance opportunity doesn't drop. Edwards brings down the rebound.
That's the possession play piece. So Maley's been able to get an O-board, but then in a wrestle, kept the ball alive for a team.
Clinch Hoyka, the microwave comes in off the bench and scores straight away. That's her role. Come in, hit the scoreboard, take a seat. Does that to perfection. Froling underneath the rack, draws the contact, and will head to the line to try and convert a three-point play.
Big answer in transition, so to be able to inbound and not get too caught up with a momentum-building three-point shot from Clinch Hoykard. Great job by the Bendigo Spirit. Kick ahead, try and beat everybody down the floor, get to the tip of the rim, and then that kills the momentum dead.
63% free throw shooter, Alicia Froling so far this season. She falls short here. Griffin keeps it alive. So Bendigo will get another look.
That's 3 straight possessions that Maley's been able to keep the ball alive for a team.
And underneath, Alicia Froling doing some great work off the bench tonight for the Spirit.
Yeah, really great read there. Smart read to slip to the rim.
She's up to 8 points. Ryan, athletic. A beautiful sight, Robbie Ryan driving to the rack with explosion. Kelly Wilson for Werung, who's back on the floor. For Maley, he's put up the 3. In and out. And look at the determination of Kelsey Griffin. Almost ran into the first row trying to bring that offensive rebound away.
This is the challenge that the Perth Lynx have, is being able to keep all of those possession players away from getting their mitts on the ball. They've got 4 of them they can roll through, the Bendigo Spirit, and it's fatiguing to have to try and box out every single possession knowing that there's going to be a really aggressive pursuit.
Bibby long range, she connects.
And then almost on cue to the contrary, there's got to be a hyper awareness and alertness from the Spirit to get to three-point shooters, locate them and be able to get a hand up early.
Werung with the triple attempt is off target. Another offensive rebound for Annalie Maley, who's making a big difference for the Spirit at the offensive end of the floor. 4 to shoot. Foul before the shot. Alicia Froling causing some headaches down low at the moment for the Perth Lynx.
And 5 straight possessions where you've had Maley on 4 of them and then KG on 1 just a possession ago, where there's been that aggressive pursuit of the basketball. Like I said, this is a dam that is either going to break and be in the Spirit's favour, or the three-point shot is going to go down for the Lynx, and then that's going to be a dam that will break for them and tilt things their way.
Catch from Froling, who again earns a three-point play opportunity. Off the bench, Alicia Froling already has 10 in the game.
And all close to the rim. So Seals, the spin move that happened earlier, O-board and put back on this play. It's tough to hold these athletes that are great competitors on the O-glass, hold them all at bay.
Can't convert though. Bibby brings down the rebound. No shot clock. Lynx lead by 2.
Want to hold for 1 shot here and go at about 8 seconds.
Instead, Robbie Ryan pulls the trigger. Typical Perth style on a 3 with 10 left. So now Maley has a chance. Kicks up the tempo, falls short. Handy triple on the quarter time buzzer, or just before, from Robbie Ryan, and Perth lead 25-20 at the first change in this must-win clash for both teams at the Bendat Basketball Centre. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Mark Alabakov, and despite the slight scoreboard advantage for the Perth Lynx, it has been a genuine arm wrestle early where both teams are showing their strengths and playing their cards. Perth trying to hit a couple of triples, Bendigo trying to work on the inside. It's going to be like that, you sense, for the entire 4 quarters.
It really will, and I keep using that analogy of a dam, but it's like there's a flow of either possession play for the Bendigo Spirit, so they're up to 6 offensive rebounds, they've got 16 points in the paint, they're able to just smash mouth their way to put points on the board. That's either going to break and really tilt the ledger in their favour, or for the Perth Lynx, they're shooting the 3 confidently. They've probably had 3 other clean looks that have rattled around and fallen out. They've made 3 three-point shots so far, and they average 10 makes a game. 12 of their points have been in the paint as well, so the mix of their three-point shot going down is going to force people to guard them out on the perimeter, and then they can get their driving game going, which we saw through the hands of Robbie Ryan and Sammy Whitcomb.
There's your look at the key numbers at quarter time between these two sides. The Lynx already with the 8 three-pointers in that first quarter. We know they put up 29 three-point attempts per game. And it's a battle of different styles, Mark, because Bendigo, Perth ranked first for three-point attempts. Bendigo ranked last. They do 21. 2-point attempts though inside. Bendigo ranked second, 46. Perth ranked 8th, 43rd. It feels like a game of chess where the two coaches are again just trying to show off their strength and fight fire with fire. It'll be fascinating to see how it pans out, but for Coach Ryan Petrick, he'd be pretty happy with what he's seen as well so far in this contest.
Yeah, and they've been able to get the types of looks that they want. So the three-point shot is imminent, and the quality of shot in terms of how much time and space you have, sometimes that's identical if it's early in the shot clock, if you've just kicked the ball ahead, or it could be late, within a possession. But they're shooting the ball with confidence, and whenever those opportunities present, it's going up.
Second quarter underway, the Lynx with a 25-20 lead in the West. Abby Werung getting the start tonight, along with Meg McKay, who's back on the floor and in the post and catching and earning a trip to the free throw line.
So I alluded to it earlier, the target that she provides you, have a look at the job she does here with her wide stance. We probably went a little bit early there, but wide stance with her feet and then with her arms as well. Even if you're under pressure as a passer, you can throw the ball anywhere within that window and she can release position to go and get a catch.
20 points from 20 minutes in the first game between Bendigo and Perth this season. She went at 75% from the field that night, and she had a strong game against Townsville in a losing cause last week. 14 points, including 6 of 9 from the field. 1 of 2 from her free throw opportunities there. Meg McKay. Whitcomb for Ryan. Atwell. Catch here from Clinch Hoycard. She will head to the free throw line.
Mismatch in the post, so with the switching defense from the Bendigo Spirit, they ended up with the smaller point guard, Kelly Wilson, on Clinch Hoycard here. A little bit unfamiliar for her to play close to the basket there, so I'm glad to see her mix up her game. We know she can shoot the three well. If she can mix it up with some post play, it can make her really difficult to defend.
Been pretty consistent bench player, and certainly as the season's gone on. Her last 6 games, from a points perspective, 9-3, 6-3, 9-7. So really being contributing some handy minutes and points for the Perth Lynx and Ryan Petrick.
And visually, that's an athlete that looks believed in,
yep,
looks trusted, and looks like she knows what her role is.
Werung, that was pretty. Despite the pressure from the Lynx, gets that 3 ball to drop. Ryan for Atwell. Can she get one back on Werung? At the other end, she can. A sweet triple for Amy Atwell.
It's a shootout here.
McKay almost lost control. Kicks it back out for Kelly Wilson. Reassess. Doing what she does best in this situation. For Griffin, for McKay. And she gets another 2. The bigs of the Spirit causing a few headaches.
And doing a power of work, so sealing in the post, being denied, coming out and setting an on-ball screen, rolling to the basket, and then sealing again for a catch and a score. She's an absolute workhorse, Megan McKay.
Werung with a strong defensive rebound there, and a good stop here for the Spirit. McKay. With a bit of a mismatch there, and Clinch Hoycard, but they go to it again, the Spirit. Werung for Wilson. She'll go with her left hand, Kelly Wilson, in game number 429, lays it in.
Look for Coach Ryan Petrick to go back with Lauren Scherf shortly here, I would anticipate.
2 early fouls for Scherf. As Clinch Hoycard can't get it to go off the glass. Sharp with the offensive rebound, though. That's one of her big strengths and what the Perth Lynx would be hoping for her to show tonight. Ryan loves this situation. Puts up the 3 and gets it to go, and will head to the line to shoot a 4.
My goodness, that's a tough shot. I thought that was particularly well defended by Annalie Maley in the context. Just landed in Robbie Ryan's landing space. As far as contesting the shot, the defense and the offense were both up to the task.
Big start to this game from Robbie Ryan. She's already up to 11 points. Asked to play the point guard position in the early stages of this season, but she's hitting form at the right time. In her last 7 games, she's averaged 15 points at 52% from the field. She misses the 4-point play opportunity, and Griffin brings down the rebound. Ali Wilson for Kelly Wilson, who can't hit the 3, and almost pinched away there from Ryan, and then turned over. Whitcomb, here is Scherf, back on the floor for Perth. Trying to thread the needle there. Bibby for Atwell, tough shot. Gets it to go. Amy Atwell.
Phenomenal, and they do a fantastic job of always knowing where their best shooters are. Amy Atwell doesn't need a whole lot of time to get that shot off.
Maley, deep 2 attempt. Ends up in a long rebound for Lauren Scherf, which ends up in a turnover for the Lynx as Ryan loses control. A rare blemish for Robbie Ryan and what has been a pretty impressive outing for her so far. So we have our first timeout of the night here at the Bendat Basketball Centre, and this timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate with your basketball team in the near future, consider CTM Sport. They have a competitive, innovative and customised travel solution which will put your team on top. Visit ctmsport.com.au to learn more. And I suppose that the good signs for Ryan Petrick and the Perth Lynx here, Mark, is that Lauren Scherf has only played just over 7 minutes so far, already with the 2 fouls, no points, only put up the 2 field goal attempts so far. Still, Perth holding that 8-point lead.
Well, I mean, the value that she's bringing you at the moment is on the defensive end. So the Perth Lynx play her in any actions that the Bendigo Spirit run. They play her in what's called a deep drops defense. So it's almost like she's a one-player zone. Watch for her to stand in the middle of the key and not guard the center for the Bendigo Spirit until they come around that charge zone or any action that comes towards them there. That's the only time that she'll contest anything. She's going to challenge the size from the Bendigo Spirit to have to beat her or the Perth Lynx from range, from the three-point line or with deep 2 range, as opposed to coming out there and then being a 6'5" presence on the perimeter and not a shot blocker at the rim.
Such a versatile player, Lauren Scherf, with so many strengths and so many strings to her bow, which we've seen right throughout this WNBL season, which has been a career best campaign for her.
And it means you've always got 6'5" waiting at the basket.
Yeah.
Here she's at the elbow and she'll sink back and just stay at the rim now for the rest of the possession. She won't worry about what Alicia Frolling's going to do.
And there she is getting the rebound. A call by Mark Alabakoff here on 9 now. Great to have his input and great to have your company for this contest as Robbie Ryan loses control again. So second straight turnover here for the Lynx. Can Bendigo make them pay? Kelly Wilson for Frolling. Deep 2 and well off target.
So that's a win for the Perth Lynx.
Yeah.
So Scherf will challenge Frolling's ability to make that shot.
And then Scherf at the other end showing why she can't be underestimated. Misfiring with the 3-ball attempt. Bibi Doe gives Perth another look on offense after getting that offensive rebound and drawing contact. Robbie Ryan will take a seat. Be pretty handy as well. We know Chloe Bibi, so good from beyond the arc, but also be really tough off the glass as well. Scherf with the catch, goes to work on Frolling. Big one-on-one here, and Scherf gets her first points of the night.
She used Frolling's move against her. 2 dribbles to the middle, drop step, trap her foot, and spin back to the left hand.
Has the 4 rebounds and the 2 assists, though, Lauren Scherf as well. 10-point lead here for Perth. Game high 10-point lead. Werung not daring to put it up in Scherf's face there. Levy on the floor. Griffin for 3.
Great to see her come back and hit that shot. I mean, massive for them. If she starts to get going, I mean, she can be such a force multiplier for others, but she's a match winner in her own right.
Here's Scherf. Handing it off for Atwell, who's been hot from deep early for the Perth Lynx. Back inside for Scherf. Guarded closely by Frolling. 4 to shoot. Scherf from the charity strike. Drops.
Starting to feel it.
4 points now for Lauren Scherf. Here's Ali Wilson. Finding some space there. And good box out there from Scherf. And a tap it to the advantage of Atwell. Atwell 3 of 5 from 3-point territories. Whitcomb works her way inside and did all the hard work and frustrated with herself that she couldn't finish. Werung for Ali Wilson. Well short. Not really working for the Bendigo Spirit from deep so far as Sharp comes up with a big play and can make it a 3-point play.
And this is what happens when you've got the looming threat of the 3-point shot like the Perth Lynx do, and they've made 6 of them. So they average 10 for a game, so that's tracking above average right now. But it opens up the perimeter for you. It opens up the middle of the lane because the perimeter is so well guarded, I should say. So being able to open a driving lane for someone like Sharp to get to the rim in a straight line on her left hand, you have that ability because of the 3-point shooting throughout the roster.
Rare blemish from the free throw line for Alex Sharp. It's now 31 of 36 so far this season for Alex Sharp. Werung and Levy combined just outside the perimeter. There's Ali Wilson. Screen comes from Frolling. Wilson kicks it out for Levy. draws in the defense, and just before the shot clock goes off, Levy hits a three.
Big shot by her, and ever reliable Tessa Levy to make a play for you on either the offensive or defensive end. We're talking about a two-time Opal or Olympian.
Commonwealth Games gold medalist as well. WNBL champion. Great CV, Tessa Levy. Scherf, what a pass. Fast hands, and Bibby will have a chance to make it a three-point play.
I really like that action of using Lauren Scherf as a passing big. So we've heard a lot in the media of Coach Ryan Petrick talking about how he likens Lauren Scherf and tries to model her game on NBA player and MVP Nikola Jokic. The ability for that type of tall athlete to have a skill package to find people cutting to the rim and put a pass on time and on target, phenomenal for a player of Lauren Scherf's size.
Bibby converts a three-point play. She's up to 9 points now for Perth. Just a little bit here to think about for the Bendigo Spirit. Froling back on the floor. Couldn't get it to go. And gives away the foul as Scherf is influential there, bringing in her 5th rebound of the game.
This is the value of having Lauren Scherf out there purely from a size standpoint, and then her being in that deep drops defense that I talked about. The Bendigo Spirit have only got 1 offensive rebound for the entirety of this quarter. They had 6 in the first quarter alone, purely because the outstretched arms of Lauren Scherf don't reach any lower as the game goes on.
Another timeout here at the Bendat Basketball Centre, and this timeout is brought to you by Cygnett. This game has been cracking so far, so for the fans tuning in from home or on the go, make sure your Cygnett charging products are ready to power up your devices, because you won't want to miss a second of the action. Check out the extensive range of Aussie-designed digital accessories right for you at cygnett.com. So a bit to think about now for the Bendigo Spirit. It's just gotten away a little bit from them in this second quarter. They gradually, Perth, chipped away on the scoreboard. It hasn't been necessarily an explosive run. It's been a grind so far from Perth, and they're getting good contributions, the Lynx, from players from both who started on the floor, but also off the bench as well, in Sharp and Clinch Weikart.
Well, they all know their role and they know the team's identity, and they're bought in. So they've got 7 individual scorers at the moment. The balance of the three-point shot is an ever-looming threat, and they can come in a tsunami. But then it's the points in the paint for me and getting on the free throw line. So being able to fill up all streams of offensive output has kept the scoreline ticking over, and they're at 45 points with 3 minutes still to play. They could end up with 50-plus points for the first half of the game here.
They've been in pretty good scoring form of late, the Perth Lynx, a couple of weeks ago. Against, in fact, last week against the Adelaide Lightning, hit 108 points, the Perth Lynx, and they consistently have been hitting 90-plus points as well. So with the Bendigo Spirit in the bonus, Lauren Scherf is at the free throw line in career best form. Although did struggle against the Flyers in the last game. Had the 8 points and 6 turnovers as well, Lauren Scherf, but she's responded really well tonight. $13-point lead here for Perth. Lots of time left, obviously, in this game. Big challenge now for the Spirit away from home. Maley ran straight into the Scherf wall. 4 to shoot. Werung for 3. Can't get it to go, but Froling with an offensive rebound, which have been rare, as Mark said, in this second quarter. Ali Wilson for Maley. Into the corner for Werung. That's a better shot. And the finish this time from Abby.
Beautiful ball movement and great decision-making by Annalie Maley to find the hot three-point shooting Abby Werung. She shot the 3 at an incredible clip, probably in the past month of basketball.
Traditionally been a very strong three-point shooter over many years. As Scherf is finding her groove inside. That one looked good off the hand, but rimmed out. Maley. Played there by Ryan. It's Werung sharing the ball, going through a lot of hands here. Bendigo Spirit ends up with Maley. And Froling just wanted that ball more than anyone else. Ali Wilson for Levy. Timeout called, and a nice comeback from the Bendigo Spirit. A couple of threes in a row, firstly to Werung, and then Levy has given the Perth Lynx, has reduced the Perth Lynx lead to just 7 points. And you sense that scoreboard differential is not going to be ballooned out into any team's favour too much right throughout this game. It is high stakes, so much on the line, and you sense it will be going down to the wire. Timeout called with just over 2 minutes remaining in this first half. What do you want to see, I suppose, particularly from the Bendigo Spirit, Mark, who've just hit a couple of threes in a row. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. They've sort of chip away again at that deficit from the Lynx. What do you want to see from Bendigo coming out of this timeout?
Well, they've rode the three-point shot to get them back into the contest here. I think you've got to find a solution to the way that the Perth Lynx are blowing up all of your driving lanes, and that's primarily going to come from Lauren Scherf being able to zone off and be that extra helper in the keyway. So the advantage that they get from that, you need to turn back against them. So you can use Lauren Scherf's direct matchup to go and get other people open. So they might have a free screen on the ball, they might have a free screen for somebody else to get a teammate open, and then force Scherf to have to be accountable defensively then.
Kennedy Kiriamu, we just saw on screen just before, his side. She's down by 7. Ryan was the contact. The Bendigo Spirit giving away another foul. They're well on the bonus now, so Ryan will be heading to the free throw line.
And when you've got a 5 that can shoot the three-point shot like Lauren Scherf has, especially this season, she plays in the corner there. She's guarded by Megan McKay. Robbie Ryan goes to the bounce. Normally in that sort of a circumstance, Megan McKay could come in and help without any penalty, but because Lauren Scherf is a three-point shooting big, Megan came to blow up the driving lane and then had another job to chase Scherf out on the three-point line, inevitably fouling.
Ryan makes both free throw attempts. Bendigo with a look now on offense. McKay screaming for it in the post. Kelly Wilson using up the shot clock here. Now Ali Wilson with 3 to shoot. Has to put it up now and is blocked by Bibby. On the fast break, Ryan Whitcomb. Ryan knocked away by McKay.
The challenge, if you're the Bendigo Spirits, there's a lot of action within their offense, and the ball's doing a fantastic job of swinging from side to side, but there's nothing penetrating. There's nothing that's going inside the three-point line, so it's easy to defend. If you're the Perth Lynx, you just slide underneath things, and you're already in all of the driving lanes.
This communication there, nicely played by the Lynx. Sharp, the beneficiary, scores an easy bucket underneath the basket, and after the Spirit reduced the lead to 7, it's back out to 11 after a couple of stops created by Perth. They convert at the other end on the scoreboard, and another timeout, this time with 76 seconds remaining in the first half. Of the notable stats so far, Robbie Ryan, the leading points winner on the ground, point scorer rather, on the ground with 13, including 4 or 5 from the field. Bibby with 9, and that monster block that we saw just before. Bibby showing off that reach. Amy Atwell also with 9 points as well for the Lynx. And then you see Alicia Froling with 10 for the Bendigo Spirit, and Abby Werung with 8. So Kelsey Griffin, just the 5 points and the 3 rebounds so far. But we knew coming back into this game, Mark, that she was on unrestricted minutes. So despite missing all that time, hasn't played since January 14. Was very close to playing last week against Townsville. Bendigo made the game day decision just to hold her back. It means, though, that she returns on unlimited minutes tonight, which, as the game progresses, might be a challenge for her, but we know that she's a warrior and, you know, one of the great athletes in the WNBL.
Well, she really is, and then her presence can be felt further than just what she contributes on a stat sheet. We saw her coming out of the timeout there, pointing and directing her teammates.
In the corner now is Griffin. And an offensive rebound, offensive foul rather, against Ali Wilson.
You can't underestimate how hard that is to do, to get your body in the road of Ali Wilson coming at full tilt. She's one of the fastest players that I've ever had the opportunity to be involved in, especially going to her left hand. That's her preference to go off the bounce with. She's as quick as anybody getting to the rim.
Robbie Ryan drawing the contact. An important player. She's been the third time she's been able to draw a foul in this game. Robbie Ryan. There's Ali Wilson, who's mainly been the starter for the Bendigo Spirit this season. But, tonight, Abby Werrung is preferred.
And her defense has gone up a level as well. Alex Wilson. I mean, you can see that why she's got the job on Sammy Whitcomb.
Lovely find from Sharp. Clinch Hoycard with the triple attempt and go Sharp with another offensive rebound. Will she go herself? No, she tried to find Clinch Hoycard, but the latter lost control. And they'll get the ball back, though, the Perth Lynx.
It's a roll of the dice from the Bendigo Spirit to be in a 2-3 zone. Now, this comes with an element of risk. So a defensive change-up to try to break the rhythm of the Perth Lynx, but arguably leaves a whole lot of space around the three-point line, especially in the corners. So if the ball gets skipped to a side, everyone's in rotation, and then if they chain pass the ball around the three-point line to keep an advantage, they'll be able to find an open shooter pretty easily.
We know that Whitcomb, Ryan, Bibby, and even particularly Alex Sharp, we saw Clinch Hoycard also in the three before. We all know that they've got the capabilities of hitting the long-range attempt. Ryan for Whitcomb. 8 to shoot. But Captain Sam, who finds a way through. Couldn't get it to go, but Alex Sharp has been colossal off the glass tonight.
She's a phenomenal athlete with a long reach, and she can get up and elevate in a short amount of time and really high, keep possessions alive.
6 points for Sharp. No shot clock left in this first half. Ball in the hands of the reigning MVP, who works her way into the key. It's knocked away by Sharp. Whitcomb from long range, falling short, but Alex Sharp finishes the first half in style. A big play at the offensive end of the floor and then denies the Spirit a scoring opportunity, and Perth in the box seat as they fight for a top 4 spot. The Lynx 53, Bendigo 40 at the main break. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Mark Alabakoff, one of the sharpest minds in Australian basketball. And as we have a look at some of the highlights so far from this game, Mark, it started really strongly for the Bendigo Spirit, but Perth able to get on top in that second quarter, a 28-20 second quarter.
Yeah, a massive game of swings and roundabouts, and you know, both teams being able to gain ascendancy at different times. So I keep going back to, if we distill it down to what's most important from the identity of both of these teams, it's the possession play and the interior presence of the Bendigo Spirit versus the three-point line. Both of these teams have been able to use those two things to gain control.
They certainly have. Kelsey Griffin, great to have her back out on the floor. Alicia Froling leads all scorers, though, for the Bendigo Spirit, but it's a lovely spread of contributors for the Perth Lynx. We've got a break coming up, and we'll have the second half action right here on 9 Now in just a few moments.
Chance to celebrate our beautiful Indigenous heritage and culture with Indigenous Round.
It's really special to me to be able to share my culture through the community. It's just, yeah, so exciting, and I'm really happy that we're doing it.
Conti pushing the pace, Blitzarves. Conti's got 3 threes. Great time, finds Blitzarves. What a pass, what a find, Mont Conti. Southside, Hunting, moving forward. Here's Poch, inside the keyway, spinning around. Nadia Poch, what a move.
Will she shoot over the top of Mitchell or take her on? She tries to take her on, spins, tough one, steps. Oh, what a play!
This game deserves overtime.
Wallace carves her way through, and we're all tied up with 28 seconds to play. Heel, will she take on Murray? She does, just shoot straight over the top. Hawkins will go at George.
Wow.
It's a 4-point lead. What a game. Credit to both teams. They threw everything they had at each other from the opening tip.
And that's a good speed there from Alex Bunton and the Caps to Melbourne. Oh, spinning around Capillo, loses it momentarily, goes in again. Oh, Jay Melbourne, but just keeps pulling stuff out of her trick bag. Melbourne. up against Cabillo. Two young guns, and Melbourne pops it in.
It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns. Turn it up. Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner.
Just not steal the win.
WNBL, live on 9 Now.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly.
I'm so ready for love.
Australia's biggest social experiment.
Oh my God.
It's not easy to meet girls when you're like 900 k's from civilization.
Is on 9 Now.
I look like the girl next door. I'm actually a little freak in the sheets.
Stream every new episode of The Love Phenomenon. Completely free, whenever you want.
Let's get married.
New Married at First Sight on 9 Now.
Gossip Girl here, your one and only source into the scandalous lives of Manhattan's elite. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Get your summer streaming on 9 Now.
So baby, in 90 days, we're gonna be husband and wife.
I was with her for 5 days, and then I proposed to her.
She's so eager to be in love, she lets red flags just go.
People say 19-year-old, she's just using you. Maybe she could be.
90 Day Fiancé. Get your summer streaming on 9 Now.
Tune in to the WNBL show, dropping weekly during the season and released across your favourite podcast network every Tuesday. Or watch the full vodcast at WNBL.basketball.
League MVP. I'll never get used to that, by the way. That's a bit strange.
We can always come to you for a great inspirational quote.
Join me, Megan Hustray, and my team of co-hosts, stars across the league, as we talk about everything that's happening on and off the court in the Cygnett WNBL.
This year, Australia wants
more. Everything. That's way more than I thought.
more.
Celebrity, snogging with the stars.
More.
Exciting.
Shocking. Unhinged. Thrilling.
I don't mean dramatic, but should we call an ambulance?
More Sophie Monk.
New The 100.
High five.
What is happening?
The new season of The 100. Stream the latest episodes on 9 Now.
Think about the lives wrecked. This man isn't a forensic pathologist. He's a charlatan.
One of Australia's most senior politicians.
On the payroll of the mafia.
It's the worst question in the world to ask somebody. Do you think your mother killed your father?
Conspiracies, murders, cover-ups. Australia's most astonishing cases go under investigation. Stream the latest episodes on 9 Now.
He wants us to pick up where he left off. Saving people, hunting things, the family business.
Stream complete seasons of Supernatural on 9 Now.
When you look at the elite levels of basketball, there's a lot of pathways at that level. But when you talk about community grassroots, it's a lot harder, I think, to sort of break through that barrier. But I think this platform is trying to sort of bridge that gap.
Welcome back.
This platform really starts to drive pathways and opportunities, particularly around the pillars of coaching, officiating, and administrating.
That's why this platform is important to me.
For them, and they'll win the game. They've got 6 on the board already, and I think for both of these teams, they've still just got to stay alert of what the opposite is doing. So for the Bendigo Spirits, stay most alert, on the change of possession, try to find and pick up the ball early and pick up shooters. For the Perth Lynx, alert on the flight time and box out.
Perth's been a little bit more efficient, and Robbie Ryan has been mightily efficient so far for Perth. She's got 4 or 5 from the field, 13 points and 3 assists so far. She's a unique kind of point guard, I suppose, that we've seen. She almost pulled off a 4-point play there, missed the free throw. But she's doing some fantastic things in the back half of this season, and she's carried that form into tonight's game.
She's so physically strong. She's like a bulldog, and she flies under the radar for this Perth Lynx team because everybody puts all of their focus on the other athletes within that starting 5. She'll post smaller guards. She drives bigger people and seeks contact. She averages 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. So far, she's at 13 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. And we've got half a game to play.
Yeah, she's having a big back end of this WNBL campaign, just finding teammates, but importantly as well, big off the glass. How do you expect the second half to play out?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a battle of attrition, right? So I think this first 5 to 6 minutes of the third quarter is going to be pretty telling. If Perth goes on a bit of a run, it's going to start to get out of the reach of the Bendigo Spirit, whereas, I use the phrase tongue-in-cheek that the big players don't get any smaller over the course of the game. So that possession play, the Spirit's got to ride to the finish.
Must-win clash for both clubs as they look to play WNBL finals. Scherf back out on the floor, guarded here by McKay, can't score. Big rebound from Wilson, and Wilson has been called for the foul. Has she? It's certainly a Bendigo ball. Perth ball rather, caught against Bendigo. Here's a look on replay.
sure what happened there.
No, neither. Nonetheless, it's Whitcomb for Scherf. A fresh 14 to work with now. Whitcomb from way downtown. We know Sammy is a second half specialist, and she starts with a special triple. Ali Wilson tries to respond at the other end with a quick 2 attempt, and that's off target. And Perth now holding a 16-point lead. Crucial few minutes coming up for Bendigo. They make an indent on the scoreboard. Scherf for a second straight triple. Can't get it to go. Whitcomb read that well. Gives them a fresh 14. In their natural habitat, Sammy Whitcomb. The lovely pass inside for Scherf, who will head to the line to shoot a couple.
And great patience in the half court there to change sides of the floor. They've done a great job with that. That I think has been a change in their game over the past 2 to 3, being able to have continuity sets that chew some shot clock as well.
5 double-doubles so far this season for Lauren Scherf. Flirted a couple of times for triple-double as well. 13 times she's had 10 points or more.
It baits your urgency as a defender. So you saw Kelsey Ruffin come across on that last possession and essentially foul Lauren Scherf.
4-4 tonight from the free throw line, Lauren Scherf. 18-point lead for Perth. Who's going to stand up for Bendigo? Kelly Wilson. For McKay, lobbing it in. With too much juice, though. Griffin was cutting towards the rack. And this is an ideal start from a Perth perspective.
Yeah, and they're doing a terrific job of blowing up all of the time and space advantages that the Spirit's trying to create with driving lanes. And a big help with that is Lauren Scherf at the rim. So Megan McKay tries to throw the ball over the top, 6'5" and an outstretched hand.
Whitcomb kicking it out. That one had too much juice, as Amy Atwell couldn't grab it in the corner.
I think she thought she was throwing it at Lauren Scherf.
Just see both Whitcomb and Scherf, their passing ability is absolutely outstanding, usually. Werung gets the screen from McKay. Pick and roll action here, comes off.
Those two have done a fantastic job of that over a period of 18 months. So playing together with the Bendigo Braves, that was a hallmark of what they did.
Well, coach team, the Bendigo Braves, as Lauren Scherf, guarded here by McKay, goes to work and works her way into the key. Hard to stop that. They get away with one Bendigo and a strong rebound from McKay. Ali Wilson for Kelly Wilson for McKay again, who's getting to work. In the post there and almost came up with the offensive rebound. The hook shot fell short. Travel is called against Atwell.
Great defense from Ali Wilson. So in particular, I've kept my eye on her. She's putting a whole lot of pressure on the basketball, moving as well laterally as I've seen from her. Might have staged a little bit there, but was definitely in a really good position to be able to force the travel and force some indecision from Atwell.
Need to get a couple of stops like that in a row, the Bendigo Spirit. Try and work their way back into the game on the scoreboard. Kelly Wilson for Werung, who's been hot from three-point land tonight. She's 3 of 5 from deep.
That last offense from the Bendigo Spirit being something that legendary coach Carrie Graff did many moons ago with championship-winning Canberra Capitals.
Scherf misses. Another stop for the Spirit. Good evening to CG12. She's listening in tonight as well. Alicia Froling wasn't quite expecting it. Ali Wilson, a big impact on the game in this quarter. As Froling loses control, she's just come into the game for Meg McKay, and the Lynx will reset.
Just got to hold your nerve if you're the Bendigo Spirit and not get too antsy. The margin is what it is, but there's plenty of basketball to be played. And you know that you can keep the ball alive multiple times in a possession with that four-headed monster of possession play.
Alex Sharp into the game for Robbie Ryan. Some great minutes off the bench from Sharp so far. Whitcomb, with the step back. Sammy Stoppers.
This is why I call her Sammy Whit Bomb.
Oh, yes. 2 triples in this quarter so far from Whitcomb. Werung pulls the trigger with her own bomb attempt. She misses, and Whitcomb with the long rebound. And Petrick manages Sammy Whitcomb so well from a minute's perspective. What a pass out to Scherf. Drives into the lane and lays it in, and Perth flexing their muscle early in this third quarter.
And showing all the tools in the toolkit, Lauren Scherf.
Maley, steam train, offensive foul is called.
They've done a terrific job, the Perth Lynx, at scouting this Bendigo Spirit team from an individual tendency standpoint. Being able to be where they're expecting the ball to be driven, getting their body in the road, being prepared to wear contact down the middle and taking charges. They're momentum-building plays.
Here's Atwell. With just under 6 minutes remaining, Ali Wilson is called for the foul. It's the 4th team foul against Bendigo in this quarter. We've still got 5 minutes 50 left.
You got to hold strong if you're the Spirit. You can't get antsy here and start to do undisciplined things.
Whitcomb, oh, not again. She's feeling it from the step back. Werung kicks it out. Lavey in rhythm, knocks down the triple, all nylon. And Lavey and Werung have been awesome from deep tonight. Both have hit 3 three-pointers. Fighting fire with fire at the moment. Whitcomb thought about another triple attempt. Kicks it out instead for Amy Atwell. Lucky roll for double A.
You've got to know where she is at all times, especially the way she's shooting the basketball right now.
She's 4 of 6 from three-point land tonight. Maley tried to find Froling inside. Jump ball is called. And possession arrow is with Bendigo, as Froling argues her case.
We've got to put an air tag on her and know her location at all times.
If a photographer would have snapped that reaction, gold shot there. 66-48 lead for Perth.
You can just see the angst start to emerge a little bit here. But this is the value that players like Kelsey Griffin, or when Kelly Wilson comes back out on the floor, they can settle you down. Tessa Lavey plays that way calmly.
Oh, almost hit that 3 again. Big rebound from Froling. Referee's whistle goes. Ryan Petrick argues with the referee as well, as does Lauren Scherf. Feeling out there at the moment. Not 100% sure where the call was coming from there. As we have a look at the WNBL Awards Night, back after a 2-year hiatus, proudly presented by Foot Locker. Join the celebration with players, game officials and sponsors as we celebrate the season highlights. We could see Annalee Maley go back-to-back as well, the MVP of 22-23. For tickets, visit WNBL.basketball. As Whitcomb continues her awesome third quarter as she takes her tally to 13 for the night. Perth responding to every Bendigo challenge at the moment. Froling sees some space ahead. And Scherf able to gobble it up.
That's that Scherf defense. Just waits at the rim, challenges Froling to shoot from the perimeter. Where she doesn't, she's already there, and Froling drives to be defended. Like, Scherf's already at the basket. 7
rebounds for Scherf. Whitcomb guards the ball well despite losing control. Froling dives on top with fellow number 9, Sharp. The jump ball. This time Perth will get the ball back.
Great hustle from both teams. You can see how much this means to them.
Great matchup, Whitcomb v Werung as well. Werung is one of the best defenders in the WNBL, and certainly one of Bendigo's best defenders, as we see timeout called here at the Bendat Basketball Centre, which is brought to you by DIY Blinds, to fit out your home with Australian-made designer quality window furnishings, of course, and always at the best prices. Head to DIYblinds.com.au to order your free samples today. Still, you mentioned, Mark, there's still a lot of time. No need for panic at this stage from a Bendigo perspective. But if you're a Bendigo fan, you're probably looking at the scoreboard and the time and thinking you better get a wriggle on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's going to come down to their ability to try and stem the tide of the scoring back the other way, but turn the advantage that Perth has by playing Lauren Scherf back into the paint, turn that against them by using her athlete or her direct matchup to go and screen on the ball or screen for other people, start to get clean looks at the basket, and then compete with sheer effort and compete like buggery, you know, for lack of a better term, because they've got the athletes to do it, to keep the ball alive 2 and 3 times per play phase, and then either get on the free throw line or inevitably it's going to be a putback and probably a foul, you know, the old school 3-point play.
Both teams have had 7 players contribute to the scoreboard so far, but Perth just overall has been a little bit more efficient tonight, particularly from inside the arc as well. Some mid-range attempts from Bendigo just haven't dropped. Ryan back out on the floor. Foul is called. Sammy Whitcomb. It's called for it, looks like.
Little crafty trick from Sammy Whitcomb, one of the best that used to use that move, so tuck their arm underneath you as a defender and lift it up and make it look like you've grabbed them, was Christy Harrell. Did a fantastic job of drawing fouls at really opportune times.
Should have said Whitcomb drew the contact there with, as Kelsey Griffin gave away the foul, and we know Whitcomb is very accomplished at the free throw line, and she extends Perth's lead to an ominous 20 points. Griffin for Maley. Look at the stars of this Bendigo lineup do. Levy for Werrung. Blocked by Bibby again. A Bibby block party in Perth. She's got 2 rejections for the night.
You probably need quicker hitting offense, so still being able to create stuff that's open, but long drawn out offenses when you're 20 down. The clock's not your friend right now.
6 to shoot here for Tessa Levy. Griffin has to hit and doesn't, and Scherf will bring it away. 3.5 to play in the third. Ryan wants a screen from Scherf. Whitcomb for Scherf. Mismatch big time here. No foul called against Bendigo. Scherf backing down on Werrung, and one by Bendigo to somehow win the ball back.
A little bit of a messy execution, so Perth prefers to have all players outside the 3-point line. It's called a 5-out alignment, but they open up the keyway for drives. They got a little bit cramped with spacing on that last play.
Griffin pulls the trigger on the triple. There's a foul. Maley hitting the deck. Alex Sharp was competing with Maley off the glass, and got the elbow out there. Alex Sharp. The second personal foul of the game.
That's what I was alluding to earlier about you want to be most alert. If you're the Perth Lynx, most alert on the flight time of the shot, because as the shooter rises up, you're going to have multiple people, especially, and there's none better than Annalie Maley at crashing the O-glass. You've got to impede her run early, otherwise you get baited into fouls like that.
A slick operator, Ryan Petrick, patrolling the Perth bench out there. 8 to shoot for Maley. Steps back from the charity stripe, gets it to go. She's 4 of 12 tonight from the field, Annalie Maley. Another 20 points is that margin. Robbie Ryan showing off some tricks. Scherf to a cutting Sharp. Sharp cut.
Indeed, an outstanding back cut. So now this is where the Perth Lynx are turning the aggressiveness defensively of the Bendigo Spirit against them with some back cutting actions.
Griffin trying to get the Spirit rolling at the other end. She's had a couple of long-range attempts and both have rimmed out. So far for the Spirit. Ryan, Scherf, Sharp. Scherf guarding, and then beautiful pass. Froling can't believe the foul is being called. So setting up for the rejection as Alex Sharp drove in. pretty handy, Mark, when you can have a player of the quality and talent of Alex Sharp coming in off the bench if you're Ryan Petrick.
Absolutely, and you know, is a selfless athlete too, so she'll do whatever the team needs. So she's able to score and be a target. So as you saw in that last possession, setting up to come off a handoff, but then made a great back cut read. But her possession play is, you know, it's really exemplary, and it's gone up a level this season. Her ability to crash the O glass and keep the ball alive for the Perth Lynx.
And shoot the three as well. We've seen a very efficient three-point shooter in the past. Griffin for Froling, a hard catch.
Good high-low action to get the ball inside. Lindsay Gaze used to say the defense is 80% beaten if you can catch the ball in and around that semicircle.
Yep. And Mackenzie Clinch-Hoycard is called for the foul. It's her third personal foul. You see Alicia Froling at the line for the Bendigo Spirit. Her third trip to the line. And she's 3 of 6. Correction, 4 of 6 tonight.
Now it's a bench lineup somewhat for the Perth Lynx, so this is a chance for Spirit to make their move in this next 2 minutes and put a dent in that margin. For the Lynx, as long as you're going basket for basket and there's not a real eating into that deficit, you're in pretty good shape. You can rest your starters.
Ryan, Bibby. Tight D here from the Spirit. Can they force a turnover? Atwell in the corner. Rims out, almost rebounded away there by Sharp. She knocked it out of bounds though. She's in a good position, and she always is.
Heightened urgency from the Bendigo Spirit to close down all driving lanes there. Great job of blowing up the drives, but then it makes you susceptible from the three-point line. So the challenge for them is going to be able to defend both.
Couple of unanswered buckets here for the Spirit. Would give them the momentum they need. Ali Wilson looked good off the hand, but it just rimmed out. Just hasn't dropped for the Bendigo Spirit in recent times. Alex Sharp at the other end. Can't get it to go. Looked away. And Perth will have a fresh 14 to work with here from the sideline.
If you're Perth, you don't want to rush. You want to get maybe one quick shot here so that then you give the Spirit the ball back and then you finish with possession, and you want to milk that whole clock and have less possessions to end this third quarter.
Bibby v Griffin. Bibby hits the deck hard and draws the contact.
No better outcome than that. Being able to bully your way to the basket, get fouled, get 2 free throws that you can make, but then also the free throws, as long as you knock them down, you then get to have all 5 players back behind the ball.
76% free throw shooter as well, Chloe Bibby. Had a big game against Perth when these two teams met for the first time this season. She had the 28 points, including 12 of 19 from the field. Outstanding player, recruit she's been for Perth. Kelsey Griffin takes a seat. Abby Werung checking back in. If Bibby can hit these 2 free throws, we are looking at a game-high 21-point advantage. Griffin playing her first game since January 14. Nasty injury she's been recovering from, well, the ruptured hamstring tendon. As Bibby hits both and makes it 75-54 in favour of Perth. Kelly Wilson for Ali Wilson. Maley backing down here on Clinch-Hoycard. The MVP goes to work and misses, and Ryan brings down the rebound. Kicks up the tempo, takes on 2. Atwell, Clinch-Hoycard for 3. Perth are humming.
And that's how they want to play. Dribble penetration, get to the rim, engage all the help, kick out to the corner, make an extra pass for the 3.
Ali Wilson responds with her own triple at the other end, and we've got 4-second differential between the 2 clocks.
One of those was bound to go down for Ali Wilson. She's a tremendous 3-point shooter.
Yeah, had good looks all night so far. That's Wilson. Bibby catches, turns around and doesn't get it to go. And Bendigo can have the final say of the quarter. And boy, will they love a bucket here. Maley gets it to drop.
And tough from both players. Really aggressive move from Maley. She's going to take it upon herself in this next quarter to try and bring Spirit back into the fold, but equal to the task was Amy Atwell to contain the penetration.
It is a tough task that awaits the Bendigo Spirit now to try and ensure their top 4 hopes remain alive and they can consolidate in 4th position. They must win this game, but Perth up by 19 points as we turn for home. Mark Alabakov, Perth have won every quarter so far. Won the first one by 5, the next one by 8, and then the next one by 8 as well. It's throughout the night, they just gradually starting to wear Bendigo down.
Yeah, they have, and they've done a terrific job being able to play the game on their terms. So they've been able to have a great balance of the three-point shot with the dribble penetration, and one leads to the other, and being able to seesaw between those as the game presents, or as the opportunities present, I should say. They've done a fantastic job of reading and making use of those advantages. They've got the 10 made threes so far, so that was the ballpark figure, 10 or more threes, and I think that they're going to be in the box seat. But I mean, what a heck of a job that they've done, being able to get to the rim. It's put them on the free throw line 20 times for the game so far.
It's been an efficient display so far from the Perth Lynx. We know they jack up the threes as much as possible. They average the 29 attempts per game, but to have 10 made at 3/4 time would be very pleasing for Ryan Petrick, and it has been a very even team contribution, it seems, from Perth. It's hard to sort of pick a player of the match at the moment.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, and different people can carry them at different times. So, we saw Robbie Ryan hold the fort for a period of time. Amy Atwell got them going early with some great shooting. You saw the start of the third quarter when I mentioned the importance of that first 5 or 6 minutes. Wickham came in and just controlled that, like a floor general. Bibby's gotten going in the back end of that quarter. So you're sitting in a situation where you've got so many Perth players that are going to be able to play confidently. For the Bendigo Spirit, there's a bit of a task ahead.
Very much so for Coach Kennedy Kerryama and his side. Just a reminder kind of the permutations as well. If Bendigo win, they obviously take the split over Perth and therefore consolidate 4th position on the ladder. If Perth win, they move into 4th position, but it's not necessarily guaranteed because they've got a couple more games to come in round 16. They've got a game against Adelaide and Canberra, so 2 teams that are below them on the ladder. But we saw only a couple of hours ago the Capitals with almost their second string team almost knocked off the Melbourne Boomers. They can't be underestimated. Robbie Ryan with an ideal start for the Lynx in this quarter. Up to 15 points, Ryan. Equal team high with Sammy Whitcomb. Ali Wilson. Interesting float attempt, but she gets the lucky roll. And the response for the Spirit. Everything needs to go right for Bendigo in this last quarter if they want to fly back to Bendigo with the win. Lovely pass from Ryan Whitcomb. Could have almost had the shot. She was right underneath the rack with not many Bendigo uniforms around her.
And that's going to be a look that they're going to need to explore for the quarter. Bendigo's obviously going to crank up the defensive pressure. They're going to be highly alert to where the ball is. So you get an opportunity to be able to cut to the basket off the weak side.
Atwell raising up. Maley bringing down another rebound. She go herself again, working hard inside, and the mid-range 2 drops to Annalee. Confidence in her own game shown there as she goes to 12 points.
And look for that to be a hallmark of their play here in the 4th quarter. I expect Annalee to take it upon herself to try to wheel the Spirit over the line.
They've got players that can do that. Not just Annalee, but Kelsey Griffin is the quintessential lead by example as well. Kelly Wilson can bring her teammates into the game. Bibby. Atwell. Yes. Having a big night from deep, Amy Atwell, 5 of 8. As Ali Wilson again drives hard inside and a strong offensive rebound goes back in. Getting better as this game wears on, Ali Wilson. She takes her tally to 7. Bit too easy though for Perth, although that attempt from Bibby a rare blunder. All oxygen as Maley takes on the responsibility, gets the lucky roll. Chipping away here, the Bendigo Spirit. Key is now to get consecutive stops. And Maley almost forced the turnover.
So where the Spirit are flying around defensively and they're getting hands to passing lanes, if you're the Perth Lynx, you've got to make use of a pass fake. Stay strong with the ball. You know, the rule of thumb is to fake a pass to make a pass.
Sure for Ryan. Dish number 6 for Lauren Scherf to go with 8 boards and 10 points. It's almost become a typical Lauren Scherf kind of stat line, that one. As Ali Wilson steps back and knocks it down. Off the bench, Wilson having a big say.
She can catch fire too, so she's got the ability to come out and get you 10 or 12 points in a quarter.
The other thing to note from Bendigo perspective, Kelsey Griffin has the 4 fouls to her name. Scherf. Oh, set play, almost. Throw it into the teammate, get it back, put up the uncontested shot, but it was all oxygen. And it's a 15-point lead for the Perth Lynx and the Bendigo ball. Griffin stepping back onto the floor with the 4 fouls. McKay and Werung take a seat. Ali Wilson catching fire. Maley with the rebound. Back to 13.
The Lynx have to find an answer here from the aggressiveness of Ali Wilson, but then also Annalee Maley, not only with the ball, but then her possession play.
Ryan gets the screen from Scherf, but strong, deep, tight defense here from Bendigo. Ali Wilson has to do the work here on Scherf. Offensive foul against Scherf. Huge win by Ali Wilson, who's having a big 4th quarter. And now the Spirit with an opportunity to draw it within 11 or maybe even 10, as the elbow there came out from Scherf. Something she probably didn't need to do considering the mismatch.
Yeah, correct. She could just pivot and shoot over the top of the smaller defender. But both these teams just needing to hold their nerve.
You'd be called for the foul. The Lynx 2nd team foul. And Bibby's 2nd personal foul. And the pressure just swings a little bit more onto the Lynx. Still a lot for the Spirit to make up on the scoreboard, though. Alicia Froling on the floor with the right hand. Interesting attempt. And then Maley gives away the foul, and Robbie Ryan hits the deck. Spirit's 1st team foul. And Maley's 3rd personal foul.
This is where situational awareness comes into play as well. You had a cross screen there by Alex Wilson, who's obviously got the hot hand. Then she came off a down screen, completely open. The ball needed to find her. The Spirit need to ride hot hands to try and cut into this deficit, get themselves back into the game.
Up to 10 points. Ali Wilson, 11th time this season she's made double figures. She's guarding Robbie Ryan here. Scherf, mostly met by Froling. Again puts that elbow out. Bibby runs straight into a Bendigo wall. Froling runs almost into the first row there. Ali Wilson all by herself for 3. And here come Bendigo. Timeout call to the Bendat Basketball Centre. Ali's pumped, the Spirit are pumped, and we've got a ball game.
And when she gets going, she can be really tough to stop. She can get to the rim at will, but then she's shooting the 3 ball at an insane clip, and it just goes to highlight, find her as a hot hand, or they've got an opportunity now to use her as a decoy to try and get a cheap basket for someone else and then come back to her.
Big moment for Ali Wilson. Reeling the margin in here, Bendigo, as the timeout is called, which is brought to you by Aussie Hoops, which has been setting the basketball foundations for kids aged 5 to 10 for quite some time now. So whether your kids are basketball fans or just simply looking to be part of a team, register them today at Aussie Hoops to kickstart their basketball journey. If you're Ryan Petrick right now, Mark, what is your tone, I suppose? You're trying to stay in control and calm, knowing that Bendigo are coming hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you're trying to find ways to be able to stabilise your team. So that might be a patterned offence here on this next possession. You might talk to them about particular matchups and getting ball pick up a little bit earlier, so you don't have a situation like that last possession where Alex Wilson's coming down, like a freight train straight at you. So being able to compete on the O glass is probably the first line of your defensive transition, and then picking the ball up early and staying with it.
You're right about Wilson. Those three-point attempts were going to drop at some point. They're all dropping at the in the fourth quarter at the moment. Robbie Ryan with an attempt well off target and can't keep it in. What an opportunity for Bendigo. Bendigo win tonight, they play finals. It's as simple as that, and Perth don't. Perth win, still a little bit more to play out, but they need just the one more win from one of their last two games, and they play finals. Huge stakes. Ali Wilson rising as well as Griffin finds a way in and gets the margin back to 8 points.
That's the value of having Kelsey Griffin on the floor.
18-7, fourth quarter in favour of Bendigo. Remember, Perth won all three quarters to start this game. Scherf backing down, gets the love off the glass. That time methodically fought her way through and scored on Ali Wilson.
And that'll settle the Lynx here. If they can get a stop on this possession and another score, we'll be back into the rhythm that they were in earlier.
Ali Wilson, though, drives hard again. Will head to the charity stripe. Just a player who's loving playing at Bendigo, loves playing with Kelsey Griffin. See the passion that Kelsey plays with. She heads to the free throw line. She's a 73% free throw shooter, averaging the 11 points per game this year. Misses. Froling with a big rebound. And then a foul. On travel, rather. Froling gives it away. There's a big offensive rebound off the missed free throw and just took a step too many.
If you're the Perth Lynx, that's the dam that you don't want to break, that possession play piece really late in this game. You don't want to be giving up extra opportunities for the Spirit to score, not when they're running down this margin.
Wickham on the floor. Guarded here by Layden. To Scherf. And the cut from Sharp. And superbly done, Alex Sharp. Maturity beyond her years. Waited to draw the contact from Griffin. And hits the two and will head to the line for an extra.
She's so smart with when to back cut. She's been doing that since, goodness gracious, under 14s, under 16s. So was able to coach her as an under 16 and under 18 athlete. And that was one of the things that she did a terrific job of, was back cutting when there was pressure, because people knew the gravity of her as an athlete coming and getting the ball. With her length and athleticism, it was going to be a problem. So being able to read when people would try and get in the road and then back cut and have a wide open layup, this has been inbuilt and ingrained into her from an early age.
And with that foul, you can see a frustrated Kelsey Griffin at the top of your screen is now out of the game. She's got 5 fouls, shakes her head, and her team now down by 12. It's a big blow. You want a player like Kelsey Griffin down the stretch here, but Ali Wilson has put her team on her back here. There's a little block in there, I reckon. And now the Lynx with a stop. Just regain control.
This next basket is crucial for either team.
Will Scherf deliver? She steps back. Can't hit it. Maley with a big rebound. Strong hands from the reigning MVP. Trying to find Froling. Atwell dives on top of it and wins it back.
5 on 4 if they're quick here.
Atwell in rhythm. Can't get it to drop. Sharp with the rebound. Again. Can't quite find a team in the way, but she's diving on the floor. Almost a head clash there between Atwell and Levy. The stakes are high. Desperate times for these two sides. Terrific WNBL basketball.
And Levy channeling her AFLW.
Oh, yes.
Put her head over the ball. Get in and under, is that the phrase?
Something like that. Big minutes for Tessa Lavey as well. Coming up. Still 12 points to make up for Bendigo. Just over 4 minutes remaining. The clock now just starts to become a little bit more of an issue. See Annalie Maley take a seat here.
Surprising that Maley would be off the floor. I just had a check. She's not in foul trouble.
Yeah.
She's only got the 3, unless it's just a short rest for her.
Well read by Werung, and it's deemed off Perth hands. Knew that Scherf was going for Whitcomb, and Werung was there to put a body in front of the ball and won it back. Lavey runs down the clock. Rather the opposite, actually. Ensured the clock was late to start. Kicks it out for Ali Wilson. And then a strong rebound from Lavey, who brings so much energy off the bench. They're looking for Ali Wilson as much as possible. That one falls short, though, on the floater attempt. And referee says that's a Perth Lynx ball from the baseline, and they negotiate 30 seconds there, Perth.
It's the Bendigo Spirit using a sandwich defense, so whoever is guarding the inbounder will turn and guard Sammy Whitcomb. So they're trying to force the ball into somebody else's hands.
Lavey watching Whitcomb like a hawk on defense. Atwell, string through.
Outstanding straight line drive for such a terrific three-point shooter. Always said great three-point shooters need to be great drivers, but in particular great back cutters as well, because you're going to get a lot of gravity and attention when you're on the three-point line. Outstanding play at a really important time.
And all her scoring so far tonight has been from the three-point line. 5 of 9, Amy Atwell from deep. That was just her second field goal attempt from inside the perimeter, and it was a good one too. She takes her tally to an equal team high 17 points, Whitcomb with 15, and then 12 each for Scherf and Sharp, and 11 for Bibby, and an 8 for Clinch Hoycard. It is, from a coaching perspective, that's a lovely spread of scoring from the Perth Lynx. As you see for the Bendigo Spirit, Annalie Maley with 16 and Ali Wilson with 14. A lot of them from Ali Wilson's perspective coming in this last quarter.
And it's what makes the Bendigo Spirit dangerous. So they've got the capacity with, in full flight, Kelsey Griffin, Annalie Maley, even Abby Werung has shown in games this season. Then you're seeing Wilson, within this one, have all got the capacity to catch fire at really opportune times and, wear the scoring burden, for lack of a better phrase, whether that's inside or out. And Ali Wilson's caught fire. She's missed the last couple, but you can see that every time she gets the ball, it looks like something exciting is about to happen.
Now a 14-point lead for Perth. Bendigo came with a rush, but it feels like ever since Sammy Whitcomb came back onto the floor, the vibe has really changed. Kelly Wilson hoping for Maley, but Bibby was there to knock it back out of bounds with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Smart play by Bibby, not only to close out Maley in the corner, but to close out through the passing lane.
Maley, Frolling, backing down on Scherf, and a terrific matchup all night to see those two go at it. And Scherf brings down the rebound.
You don't need to be in any hurry if you're the Perth Lynx.
12 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists for Lauren Scherf. Whitcomb stepped out of bounds.
Unlucky, but not the worst thing that could have happened. Because again, now you've stepped out of bounds. The Bendigo Spirit need to advance the ball 94 feet.
Yep.
Inbound it, you're already between them and the basket.
Kelly Wilson conjure. Almost lost control. Ali Wilson from the car park. Well off target. Just hasn't quite dropped for Ali in the past few minutes after a red-hot start to the fourth quarter. Maley, she's been called for the foul.
That'll be her fourth.
Have a look at the reaction from the assistant coach to Bendigo in the background. So, fourth team foul on Bendigo in this quarter. Whitcomb steps back. Can't get it to go. Ali Wilson can't draw the foul there. It's still a Perth ball. 14-second shot clock. Just over 2 minutes to play, and Perth still holding this 14-point lead, and time really an issue now for Bendigo. Sharp knocked away by Froling, but Whitcomb there to pick up the crumbs. 8 to shoot. Bibby screaming for it. Sharp going to work on Werrung. Two young guns of Aussie hoops, and Sharp with a pretty move, a pretty spin, and a lovely finish.
Coming up big for them when they need her to.
16-point lead for Perth. Maley falls short. Sharp with another rebound. And she calms it down, slows the tempo, sensing the game situation. And we've got a special Sammy play coming up. Scherf sets the screen. Whitcomb kicks it out for Atwell. Sharp, rather, who put up the attempt. And it's going to be a Bendigo ball. With 1:21 left on the clock. And a timeout is called with those 81 seconds left. Job not quite done yet for the Perth Lynx, but they are right in prime position now. Another game scoring 90-plus points. They are one of the best scoring teams in the WNBL. Bendigo have been one of the best defensive teams throughout the course of this season. The Perth have played their game well. Both teams have brought fire, their strengths against the other strengths tonight. Fire against fire, and Perth look like they're going to come out with the goods, Mark.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there's still 1:21 to play, but if you're the Bendigo Spirit coming out of this timeout, you want to draw something up, you want to advance the ball, first of all, so you've got a shorter shot clock, pattern something to get a three-point shot that hopefully you're going to make, but you need more possessions, so you need to get a whole lot more aggressive defensively and play up the floor. If you're the Perth Lynx in this last 1:21, you don't need to be in any rush. To stop the clock, the Bendigo Spirit are likely to foul you, so you've got to be prepared to take contact, use pass fakes to create time and space advantages, and not do anything outlandish. Unless you've got a wide open layup, you don't need to rush any of your action on the offensive end.
Both teams tonight have used, Perth have used 7 players tonight. They've got a pretty deep bench to choose from, Perth, but uses the 7 players, whereas Bendigo have used the 8 players. Ali Wilson, 28 minutes off the bench. Alicia Froling, 23, and Levy, the 15 off the bench. Froling for Werrung, was hoping to try and get a quick shot away. Ali Wilson does get the shot away, can't knock it down. Scherf for the board. And that is another double-double for Lauren Scherf. Foul is called. With that rebound, Lauren Scherf with her 6th double-double of this WNBL season. What a star she is, what an exciting prospect she is for Australian basketball, not just at WNBL level, but what she might be able to achieve on the international stage, part of this extended 24-player Opal squad, as is Amy Atwell, who's made a splash back in the WNBL, back on Australian shores and in the WNBL this season. She's got 19 points tonight. 18-point lead for Perth. Kelly Wilson loses control, and we're into the final minute. Loomed as the most important game of this WNBL season to date from a ladder perspective. And Perth now taking a big step towards finals. Atwell, cherry on top stuff from Amy Atwell.
Cold-blooded.
The bench lining up to get some minutes. As Maley drives hard inside, double dribble is called. She can't believe the call, she's frustrated. And we're going to see almost a full swap here. What a job the top 7 Perth players have done tonight. Under the pump, must-win game. Do or die in the regular season. And those players on screen have lifted when their team, when their club needed them most. Final few seconds to play out now. Taya Burrows, Jesse Edwards, Desiree Kelly, Forster, all getting a look now. Gandini as well. Can't hit the two. Froling brings down the rebound. Cassidy McLean also with a few final seconds. But that is a big opportunity taken by the Perth Lynx. And finals for Ryan Petrick's side just got a little closer. Still a bit to play it in round 16, but Perth now in position A to make the finals, and Bendigo now relying on Perth to lose in round 16, and they also have to win themselves to make finals. What a performance from the Lynx. Their second highest score of the season, another big score of 99 points. And their fans absolutely loving it, and rightly so. From one of, it has to be said, Mark, it's probably one of Perth, if not Perth's most impressive win that we've seen so far this season.
Absolutely, and it's got hallmarks of when they beat Southside Flyers as well. So they've been able to knock off two teams that sit within that finals picture, two very good basketball teams. And for me, it's their ability to play the game on their own terms. So, the three-point shot is imminent. They hit 11 of them tonight, but then they mix that up with the ability to get to the basket, and that puts you in positions to be fouled. So it's high percentage shots. They had 38 points in the paint, but then got on the free throw line 23 times. And where they're able to fill up all streams of offense, it can be really tough to stem that tide across the course of 4 quarters. The most impressive is how gallant they are and how resilient, that you can see that they know their identity, they believe in one another. There's a great camaraderie, in this Perth Lynx team. Now they've got to go away next week and try to win at least one of two, feeling the momentum and the confidence and belief that they'll have from tonight.
And they're superbly led by Sammy Whitcomb on the floor and superbly coached by Ryan Petrick, who's got his side in a really nice position to make the finals. There's your look at the stat sheet, and in the end, Perth getting basically breaking even, one more rebound, in fact, than the Bendigo Spirits. That really leveled up as well. They got the 33-point attempts up, and they hit 12 of them as well. That was your threshold that you're looking at all night, Mark, and that's how it played out.
Yeah, exactly. And, they were able to play the game on their terms. They were able to, then steer back from that big push by the Bendigo Spirit to start the fourth quarter. It was looking ominous that they were going to be able to get back into the picture, but credit to the Perth Lynx, that resilience that they've been able to build over the course of some of these close games, and it's taken them time to get to this point and get the momentum that they've got. Come finals, if they are to qualify in the end of all of this, it's so much about the teams that have the most momentum, and arguably it's them and it's the Townsville Fire that go in the hottest coming into finals.
Let's have a look at some of the big highlights from throughout the game tonight. And in that fourth quarter in particular, Mark, Ali Wilson really led the charge for the Bendigo Spirit. They got within 8 points halfway through that quarter. Sammy Whitcomb was having some time off the floor as well. But once she came back on, she set the tone. And ultimately, in the end, Perth have won every quarter. They've extended their lead at the end of every quarter. They won the last quarter 21-19. And it's pretty close to a complete performance from the Perth Lynx, and they can use this as a benchmark, hopefully, heading forward into round 16, and for their case, hopefully beyond.
Absolutely, and the first month of the season that they had, they wouldn't have been capable of this, but it takes time to build something, and credit to Coach Ryan Petrick, arguably the coach of the year if this team makes finals, especially given some of the names that have fallen out of their lineup, and being able to steer this team into the finals picture. It's been nothing short of phenomenal.
There is your updated ladder, and you're in the top 4, Perth fans. 11 wins and 8 losses. What it means is Perth takes the split over Bendigo. So it means that if Bendigo and Perth both end up on 12 wins, Bendigo's still got 1 game to play. Perth have got 2 games to play next week. If Perth and Bendigo both end up on 12 wins, which is quite possible, Perth will still finish above Bendigo because of this win tonight. That is how important this win was. And from a Bendigo perspective, they've now lost 5 games on the trot. It's going to be a tough flight back, and they'll be hoping to try and finish their regular season strong, but the unfortunate thing for them now, Mark, is that they're relying on other teams and other results to fall their way.
Yeah, and that always provides a challenge when your destiny's out of your hands. This is a basketball team that, outside of the Southside Flyers, is arguably the next deepest in terms of being able to replenish some quality players at every single position. So for them, if they fall out of the finals picture, incredibly unfortunate, but they'll be waiting on the results of next week to find out.
There's Lauren Scher. She was flirted with a triple-double once again. She fell a couple of assists short, but she picked up her 6th double-double of the season as well. So as Lauren Scherf celebrates, Perth will have a break and put their feet up and have a look tomorrow at 9 now as Townsville hosts the Sydney Flames. This club record winning streak of the Townsville Fire continues, and they'll be hoping to add another to the tally when they take on the Sydney Flames. Have been pretty impressive, it has to be said, in recent weeks under Shelley Gorman. You won't want to miss that from 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time tomorrow. But on behalf of our entire hard-working team here, and of course Mark Alabakoff, it's been an absolute pleasure to bring you all the action from the Bendat Basketball Centre tonight. It loomed as one of the most important games of the season, definitely a must-win for Perth, and Perth did that. They won their 4th, and they are now in prime position to make the finals in the WNBL season. It is Perth getting the victory over the Bendigo Spirit, 99-78. Good night.